All right, go for it.
Good morning, everyone. It's V, the Grill Economist. Sorry for the late start. We had some weather-related issues going on in the Northeast with some icing and this, that, and the other that caused some delays. But anyway, we are here, roguemoney.net. Check us out Twitter at the Rogue Money and Rogue Money on Facebook, Rogue Money DTube, Rogue Money on every single podcasting app, Note to Humanity. Guys, check out remaincalm.net, remaincalm.net for our sponsors. They are awesome. You want to get your credit score fixed, you want to get a better credit score, or you just need money to get funding to get whatever, you want to get some cryptos, investments, whatever the heck you want to do. It's your money and you want it now. Go to remaincalm.net. Let those guys do it for you. They can you get funded for up to $600,000 unsecured. So check them out, remaincalm.net. Most importantly, I'm excited about the Crypto School, the cryptoschool.io, the cryptoschool.io. Check them out. They are rocking. They're awesome. I will be more involved in the school as the days fall off the calendar. Just been so wrapped up with different projects that needs to get done. But the cryptoschool.io is going to be awesome, especially we have the Crypto Cowboy over there and Crypto Z. They're going to be doing trading classes, trading courses that will be starting soon. Especially we're going to get ready. I'd say the mid to late February, this month actually. I expect to turn in the crypto market. Just like I said, there's going to be a beat down. Bitcoin is going to go below 9,800. I said that back in November. That'd be by the end of the year, and here we are. So now we're going to start to climb up. So get ready, get yourselves ready. It is a buying opportunity. If you're not buying, then you know what, you're not trying. That's all I gotta say, and that's not investment advice. If you ain't buying, you ain't trying.
I like
that out of the way. El Cuco, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, man. Good morning. Good morning. Doing great. It's a little bit chilly here in the Midwest. Had a little bit of snow, but we're getting through it. And just so our fans don't get upset, London Paul is coming up on deck. So he's right after our show. So make sure you don't go too far.
Don't go too far. London Paul's coming up at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And talking about cryptos, CJ, we have the whole entire India situation real quick. And there was rumor, and that's all it takes these days is rumors to sink markets and cause people to sell off. You got to have some skin in the game. Play the market smart. Don't get freaked out. Don't get don't get put off by the FUD. But the rumor was that India is banning crypto exchanges, and the truth comes out. The rumors are in fact false. It is more FUD. This is from our guys over at Cointelegraph. Earlier in the week, many reports falsely suggest that the Indian government has banned cryptocurrency trading in the entire cryptocurrency market. Cointelegraph spoke to India's 3 largest crypto exchanges, which unanimously stated that the cryptocurrency ban rumors are nothing more than FUD. Executives over at CoinSecure, Unicoin, and ZebPay, the most widely utilized cryptocurrency trading platforms in the country with millions of users, unanimously stated that the document released by the Ministry of Finance was misinterpreted. The Indian Ministry of Finance reaffirmed that it intends to ban the usage of cryptocurrencies in financial crimes and illicit activities. Yeah, good luck with that. But not ban cryptocurrencies in general. It is important to acknowledge that the use of cash or any currency in financial crimes is banned. Okay, so the mainstream media, especially outlets in India, interpreted the statement as a ban on cryptocurrencies and released a premature report claiming the government has banned the market. This week on television, national television, India's finance minister strongly refused the cryptocurrency ban rumors. And this is Sunny Ray. I like that name.
Sunny Ray.
Sunny Ray, the founder of and president of Unicoin Monday morning siege told Cointelegraph. Say that really fast. We are happy that the finance minister has recognized the importance and popularity of cryptocurrency and has chosen to talk about it on Budget Day, whatever that is for them. As far as the exact content of what he said, we are largely neutral about it. However, we are pained to see his words being misinterpreted and misreported by a section of the media. And there you go, folks. There you go. If you had any doubts, there it is, my man. There it is.
Bingo. Absolutely.
Anyway, CJ, we have a collision course. Who exactly are these U.S. troops in Syria? Turkey's warning, like last we reported last time with the Turks. valiantly demand that the U.S. forces vacate the military bases in the Syrian desert of Manjib. And the U.S. predictably refused, and on Monday, a top American general said the U.S. troops will not pull out from northern Syrian city of Manbij, rebuffing Ankara's demands to withdraw from the city and risking a potential confrontation between the two quote-unquote NATO allies. 1 week later, in the latest dramatic escalation between the two NATO members, Turkey's deputy prime minister has warned that U.S. troops fighting alongside the Syrian Kurdish militias in the same uniform may be targeted by the Turkish army due to difficulty of distinguishing them in the heat of battle. Effectively stating that U.S. troops in northern Syria are now fair game, quote-unquote, in the ongoing deadly conflict. Speaking to CNN Turk on Sunday, Turkish Deputy Prime Minister Bekir Bozdağ said that if U.S. troops wear terrorist clothes, see, have U.S. troops ever worn terrorist clothes?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah,
haven't deep state operatives been caught many times wearing quote unquote terrorist clothes? I mean, have we not in Iraq? Remember that whole boondoggle in Iraq when British SAS troops were caught working with Al Qaeda wearing Al Qaeda garb? They were arrested and brought to an Iraqi prison, and then they were later then broken out by the British military. I mean, how ridiculous is this? So there is no chance that we will make a distinction at this point, is what the head prime minister is saying. I find it ridiculous, man. The question becomes, folks, who the hell are these troops, right? Like, who are these troops that they're referring to? So I'm going to try and make sense of this, okay? I'm trying to make sense of this. I'm trying to connect it. See, the next article ties into this. I want you to go ahead and break that, go into that one. And I'm going to tie it back to this, U.S. troops in Syria, quote unquote, and Turkey. Go ahead, Cesar.
Right. So we're getting information, just like Iraq, they're coming out and making claims that Syria has creating weapons of mass destructions. So we have the Washington Post story that was released in regards to Syria probably continuing to make use of chemical weapons. Reuters story, which also carried the New York Times, says U.S. officials have said the Syrian government may be developing new types of chemical weapons. And President Donald Trump is prepared to consider further military action. President Bashar al-Assad is believed to have secretly kept part in Syria's chemical weapon stockpile, which absolutely has not been validated at all. Jerusalem Online followed up with saying a U.S. official says Syrian President Assad's forces may be developing new types of chemical weapons which could reach as far as the U.S. Ooh, scary stuff.
Oh yeah. These chemical weapons. Bashar al-Assad has the capability of reaching the U.S. Why the hell, again, folks, Bashar al-Assad and the Russians have cleaned the deep state's clock in Syria. They've cleaned their clock. They've wiped the floor with ISIS. I mean, the Syrian countries are damn near 100% liberated at this point. There's just a little few pockets that need to be left. Why at this point would they use chemical weapons?
Right. There's no need.
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense at all.
Exactly. Right. So the deep state's ratcheting up these calls to, this is the Nigerian yellow cake part D. If you all remember the buildup to the the Iraqi invasion right after 9/11, you all remember the Nigerian yellow cake. This is Nigerian yellow cake part 2. Let's not get this twisted. Let's not be enamored here. We know this playbook. This is the same damn playbook these guys always try again and again and again. The same damn playbook. It makes no sense whatsoever, right? So here they are making these claims of Nigerian, of weapons of mass destruction. We need to go there, and there's military action. At the same time, there's a bunch of holdover guys in northern Syria, and the Turks are making a beeline to take them out. And they say, you know what? We don't know the difference. We can't tell the difference through a rifle scope, and we're not going to make any distinctions between U.S. troops and what they deem to be terrorist Kurdish factions. They're not going to make any distinction. Now, I want you to think about this. Who the hell is leaving these U.S. forward operating bases in Syria? These forward operating bases in Syria are illegal. Illegal. They do not belong there. Okay? They're not supposed to be there. So the Turks, and these are perfectly positioned in northern Syria, right on the border of Turkey. And it happens to be backed up by the Kurds, which the Turks don't like. So the American forward operating troops here, there's a few thousand of them, are going to be caught in a pincer maneuver. Okay, there is literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 forward operating bases in Syria. It makes no sense. So my question is, who's keeping these troops there? Number one, and number two, are these even really American troops? Could they possibly be CIA contractors? Because it makes no sense for these guys to even be there. And if they are CIA contractors, don't be surprised if the order comes out for Turkey to go ahead and wipe the floor with these guys. I hope cooler heads prevail. I hope these guys pull out of there. There's no business for the United States to be in Syria, period. We were not invited there. There's no UN. You just can't willy-nilly go into somebody's backyard and set up shop. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and I think London Paul is going to have some things to say as well. You know, we had that Russian jet that was shot down over the weekend as well, V. So, yeah, so things are definitely getting interesting there, to say the least.
Absolutely. FBI sat on the Nasser case for close to 14 months while 40 more victims were molested. What is it about pedophiles and the federal government that allows the federal government to just simply coddle them and protect them? Go ahead, Siege.
Yeah, this is truly disturbing. So not only, you know, the FBI with collusion with the whole Trump dossier, everything that we witnessed there, V, but also, you know, think about, you know, James Comey and his leadership, right? So he was ahead of the FBI during this time period. Now it's coming out the new information that the FBI sat on this case, V, for close to 14 months, which led to an additional close to 40 victims get molested by this pedophile. I mean, you want to talk about complacency. And so it goes on to state that the parents originally reported the incidents to then USA Gymnastics president during that time period, stating specifically that, hey, listen, you know, my daughters came forth, and you know, she's saying that he was, you know, he was, you know, during examinations was basically molesting her. So the USA Gymnastics president, Steve Penny, said, you know, don't say anything, keep quiet. You know, we'll figure out who to talk to during this time period. So then they go through and they hire the USA Gymnastics hires a HR specialist to come in and talk through this thing. Well, they notified the FBI in Indianapolis in July of 2015. The FBI, because this involves several different FBI offices from different states, they basically sat on this information. The parents of these teenagers kept coming forward saying, is there an update? What is going on? One of them specifically states, I was never contacted. I was never asked what happened. So not only do we see the entire USA Gymnastics board of directors resigning, we also see the president of Michigan State University resigning, because that in part is where Dr. Nasser, where his offices were. So again, just the part of the FBI was sitting on this case for so long, doing nothing. And be mindful, they're claiming that the reason why this happened was because it was multiple, jurisdictions, and it, was confusing. Remember, this was post 9/11 when all that stuff was supposed to be solved, right? With, streamlining communication, streamlining the information. So this is just truly a disgrace. Another huge scar on the FBI, V. That just shows the amount of corruption that's there. And now we have more victims, 40 victims that were molested over the course of these 14 months that the FBI did nothing.
You know what, man? It's absolutely disgusting, to say the least. Look, if you're a parent and you got kids, okay, we have this habit, and it needs to fucking stop. It needs to stop. If you drop your kid off somewhere, be it a gymnastics tryout, be it martial arts, be it basketball, be it intramural football, whatever the hell it is, whatever it is you take your kid to do, skating rink, I don't care, ice skating, whatever. Stay there with your kids. If your kid has a doctor's appointment, you go in with your kid. Okay? This whole thing of dropping your kids off at gymnastics and you go, I don't know, go stuff your face with a donut and some coffee. It needs to stop. So many Americans are laissez-faire with their lives. They're laissez-faire with their children's lives. It needs to stop. I would never in a million years leave my kid anywhere. I would never. I'm always there. No matter where my kid goes, there's a 265-pound gorilla right there. All the time. All the time. Watching. All the time watching. You should do the same. You all hear how sick this world is. You all hear about all these pedophiles, 40,000 arrests worldwide, all these out the left and right, these pedos getting arrested. You cannot afford to let this happen to your kids. Just as you can't afford to allow typical public school education and leftist, out there statist type indoctrination to collude and cloud your child's mind. You wouldn't allow that. Just be there for your kids, folks. That's all I'm asking. Just be there for your kids. Sick, CJ. It's absolutely sick.
Yeah, it truly is. It truly is.
The deep state truly believe they're above the law, Siege.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of where you are, and I know because obviously with Trump and the memo coming out, and I know London Paul's going to jump into it as well and share his thoughts. But V, I'm just amazed at the arrogance of these former CIA officials, these deep state artists that are coming out and truly feeling that they are above the law. So recently, V, one of the former FBI or former CIA counterterrorism officials, Phil Mudd, took to the airwaves.
Phil Mudd.
Phil Mudd, exactly. Stating specifically that the FBI are ticked. And they're ticked. And they'll be saying to Trump, you've been around for 13 months. We've been around since 1908, and I know how this game is going to be played. We're going to win. So these people, they're actively out there basically stating that, that basically war right now between the deep state, the administration. So, regardless of your beliefs, whether somebody's going to get prosecuted, everything that's going to happen, I think it's time now that true patriots like us, like our listeners, rise. We rally behind this president. It's time to take out the deep state. We got to support this, and there's a lot more work. There's a lot more information that's coming forward. So again, just be mindful of this. And when we see these people like Phil Mudd take to the airwaves to actively out there threaten the president of the United States, we cannot stand for this. V.
You want to know something on top of all this? Phil the Mudd, Mr. Phil Mudd for Brains here has forgotten one thing. Dear Phil, has it ever occurred to you that Donald Trump signed an executive order? Dear Phil Mudd, whose brain is filled with mud, has it not occurred to you that who controls the NSA right now? Who controls the surveillance right now? Who controls the real intelligence apparatus right now in this country? Dear Phil, your whole entire network is being taken about bit by bit. Phil, you're a fool on borrowed time. And Phil, truth of the matter is the FBI is shitting their pants right now. They are literally crapping a brick right now. The very eye of Sauron, which is the NSA, has been turned on them. If you don't think that there's a purge coming to government, man, you got another thing coming. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, how come this is not stopping the Mueller investigation? He just fired Mueller. He could fire Mueller. He could absolutely fire Mueller right now, but he's not going to do it. So the question becomes, CJ, what is Mueller really investigating? Again,
right.
The question.
Absolutely nothing. Yeah.
What is he really investigating? Is he really investigating Russian collusion, or let's just play devil's advocate? This is a theory I put out months ago. What if he is not investigating Trump, but he's actually investigating the deep state.
Yeah, well,
Something to ponder.
Yeah, no, and if he did do that, V, it would be definitely part of a plea bargain for himself, right? I mean, because
Absolutely,
yeah, it would be a plea bargain for himself that, hey, listen, let me get full disclosure, but who knows at this stage? But regardless of what's going to happen, is next you're going to see the Congressman Nunes. Is it Nunes? Yeah, so he'll begin his work. They're not going to do it in the form of a memo, apparently, but they will also be sharing their findings in regards to the DOJ, and then also some of the surveillance that took place, using the NSA and the intelligence. So there's more information that's going to be coming out.
Yep. And on top of that, my man, Trey Gowdy is going to be placed somewhere in this whole entire thing.
Oh, absolutely, 1,000%.
Things are being done, and I just want to see Rod Rosenstein fired already. That's going to be a good thing for me to see. And I like to see, what's his name, Andrew McCabe. I want to see any sort of pension that he's been getting. I want that pension frozen. I want that gone.
Absolutely, V. Yeah,
I want that stripped. He doesn't deserve that. He has a $2 million pension. Could you believe that?
Yeah,
$2 million. Yeah. It's crazy.
Ridiculous.
All right, my man. This is what we're up against, and exactly why alpha dogs need to rise. What is this?
Yeah, so this is part of the conditioning that we're up against, and V, and this is a release from the AP. And there's a survey that was conducted by a university professor in regards to teens and gender identification. And basically what it's coming out and saying is that it's just not boy and girl anymore. More teens identify as transgender. Far more U.S. teens than precisely thought were transgender identify themselves using other non-traditional gender terms, which many rejecting the idea that girl and boy are the only options new research suggests. The study looked at students in 9th and 11th grade and estimated that nearly 3% are transgender or gender non-conforming, meaning they don't always self-identify as the sex they were assigned at birth. You know what this is? This is strictly just conditioning. This is the attempt to change society. It's absolutely appalling, V.
Right. It's one thing for you to say, you know what, if you are, let's just say you're gay, right? And you're a dude, but you identify as a man and you love other men. You're a gay dude. That's cool. Whatever. Same if you're a woman, whatever. Okay. But the point of the matter is this whole transgenderism is a bunch of horse shit. It's just look, in 1970, up until 1973, the definition was called gender identity disorder, and it was removed from the American Psychiatric Journal for purely political reasons. This is gender identity disorder. And 99% of these kids were, I'm so gender fluid. All of a sudden, dude, it's like gluten intolerance, bro. You remember back in the 80s and 90s, never even heard of gluten intolerance, right?
No.
Now, apart from celiac disease, which is like 0.01% of the population, now everybody, I can't eat bread. I have a gluten intolerance. I mean, shut up. It's like trendy, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, and most of the people with that gluten intolerance, it's actually the trace amounts of the Roundup that's affecting them. It's not actually
it's not real bread that's causing the problem. It's additives and the chemicals. And when they actually eat real bread that's been allowed to ferment, that's been allowed to be baked properly and made, you got no problem. You have no issues whatsoever, right? I have a family member of mine. I'm gluten intolerant. Person goes overseas, eats bread from other countries, which they make bread the old world way, and all of a sudden, oh my God, this person's eating a whole damn loaf with no issues. So it becomes a trendy thing. So the new gluten intolerance of the year, folks, is transgendered among kids. I'm transgendered. It's dehumanization. You see, the entire universe is balanced on masculine and feminine energies. That is what makes the entire world and this planet work. It is the very balance and fabric of life. And when you disrupt that, you are disrupting the very thing that makes you human. There are no 70 genders, and no, my friend, gender is not a social construct. It's a biological reality. In fact, medical science is predicated on the fact that it is, in fact, a biological reality. Okay? Now, if you want to go ahead and pretend to be a boy or a girl, that some sex that you're not, then you go right ahead, but do it on your time and on your dime. Not on my time and not on my dime. And don't force your bullshit down our throats thinking that it's normal, because it's not. And that's the bottom line. This is pure propaganda. And this is why, look, this is why the alpha dogs, just like you said, Siege, this is why the alpha dogs need to rise up, and we need to go back to a patriarchal society. This is what happens to society, folks, when you become gynocentric, when you become feminized. When a feminized society is an unsafe society for both men, women, and children. Okay? It is not a safe society. Gynocentric civilizations always fail. Always fail. And there's no safety here. There's no quarter here. Look at Europe. Gynocentric to the max, and they're dying out. Did you realize this, CJ? Did you realize in Sweden? Guess who was the new Minister of Cultural Affairs in Sweden? You figured some old Swedish guy, right?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, they literally put in a Muslim migrant as the chief of Swedish culture. He is in charge of the Swedish Department of Culture. In other words, the cultural affairs of Sweden. A Muslim migrant from Pakistan. What the hell does that guy know about Sweden? This is what collectivist, gynocentric, feminazi culture gets you. The faster you establish law and the rule of law under the patriarchy, the better off it is for everyone. The patriarchy is safe for women. It's safe for children. None of this bullshit exists. And safe for Western culture and ideals and the rule of law. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. I can go on and on, but I'll stop.
No, it's fine. Just be aware, for parents, everyone out there, they're pushing. So this publication was published in Pediatrics, and it's scary to think that they're pushing these publications out, asking pediatricians to be observant of this when they're working with kids, as young as 6, 9 years old, just in case they may have some, gender inequalities or gender identification issues, and potentially pushing these puberty blockers at that young of age. That's just when you become an adult, if you decide to switch something, that's completely different. But don't be pushing this stuff on pediatrics and when the youth are still exploring, they're still trying to self-identify who they are. Right. But yet we're going to be pushing puberty blockers on these kids. It's ridiculous, V.
The amount of damage these things do to your look. We only understand 34% of the endocrine system. 34%. Would you, if your child was, I don't know, would you put your 6-year-old on psychotropics? Like, would you do that? I mean, if you do, you're a fucking moron. You're a moron. You don't deserve to have. I would recommend you get sterilized. You have a 6-year-old, you're going to put psychotropics on. Really. Without breaking your head finding alternative treatment. Without breaking your head finding out that there's maybe a nutritional deficiency somewhere. Maybe there's an additive link. Maybe there's an overactive immune system that is causing some sort of surge within the hormone. Something's going on. Let me find an alternative way rather than putting my child on Prozac at the age of 5 or 6 years old. I'm sorry for the cussing, but when it comes to kids, man, I get pissed, man.
No, Roger that. Yeah, I completely agree. That's when I saw this article hit the AP and just absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, so anyway, I think that's it. V. We got London Paul coming on at 10 a.m. I know he has a lot to talk about, so we're very excited to get him on at 10 a.m. or I'm sorry, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah. And with that being said, folks, we're over and out. Take it away, El Cuco, before I blow a gasket.